It was a hot afternoon, July 27th, 1919. 5 young African-American males went swimming at Lake Michigan. 25th Street Beach, north of here, was where blacks were allowed to swim. They swam southward here to 29th Street, where white people started throwing rocks at them. One boy, age 17, Eugene Williams, was killed as a result of that. His crime was swimming in Lake Michigan for being black. As a result, the Chicago Race Riot of 1919 exploded. 38 people were killed, 537 wounded, a week of violence, the worst in the history of Chicago to this day.
We're here in Bronzeville, the historic African-American neighborhood in Chicago. In the early 20th century, African-Americans from the South came to this neighborhood to both escape Southern racism, but also because of the economic opportunities that were provided here. This became known as the Great Migration. The riots happened in and around this community. And in the aftermath of the riots, they doubled down on segregation, further confining African Americans to this community. This is a legacy of segregation that we still live with today.
In the hours and days after Eugene Williams was killed, another 37 Chicagoans were killed and more than 500 were wounded. Not only was this the worst incident of racial violence in the city's history, it also dramatically contributed to the subsequent segregation of the city of Chicago. Despite the riot's importance, very few people know about it, and the city has never acknowledged it. The Chicago Race Riot of 1919 Commemoration Project intends to change all that.
The goal of the Chicago Race Riot Commemoration Project is to educate about and commemorate the events of 1919. By confronting our past and lifting up this history, we hope that we can more productively work towards a more just future.
We take inspiration from a German public art project honoring Holocaust victims. Starting in the 1990s and continuing to this day, we have seen markers like these across Europe honoring Holocaust victims where they last lived. As a result, when people walk around cities in Germany and Europe today, they stumble across these metaphorically and are reminded of past atrocities. Similarly, the Chicago Race Riot Commemoration Project intends to create 38 markers which we will install at the locations where 38 people were killed in 1919 during the riots. We do so to help remind people about these atrocities of the past in order to make a more just and harmonious future. Donations to our project will go to the artists and the materials we need to make this project a reality. We thank you very much for your support. And if you're able, please join us on July 27th, 1919's centennial in 2019, where we will be publicly launching our project.